Star Trek's Kelvin timeline rewrites Return of the Archons. One of the most fascinating aspects of Star Trek's Kelvin timeline is not just its louder phasers, sleeker Starfleet uniforms, or faster-paced storytelling, but how it quietly recontextualizes classic ideas from the original series. While the Kelvin films never directly remake a TOS episode beat for beat, many of their themes feel like bold reinterpretations of stories Gene Roddenberry first told in the 1960s. Few episodes lend themselves to this comparison better than Return of the Archons, a strange, philosophical hour that helped define Star Trek's distrust of authoritarian utopias. In many ways, the Kelvin timeline doesn't just echo that episode, it rewrites it for a modern, blockbuster-driven era. Return of the Archons centers on the planet Beta-3, where a computer known as Landru enforces peace by suppressing individuality. The citizens live in artificial harmony, but only by surrendering free will. Kirk ultimately destroys Landru, arguing that humanity's flaws, passion, conflict, emotion, are inseparable from progress. It's a classic Star Trek message. Control masquerading as peace is still tyranny. The Kelvin timeline reframes this idea through character rather than allegory. In Star Trek 2009, Into Darkness and Beyond, control doesn't come from a single godlike machine, but from institutions and individuals who believe they know better than everyone else. Starfleet itself often occupies the Landru role. Admiral Marcus in Into Darkness is the clearest example. A man convinced that preemptive war, secrecy, and moral compromise are necessary to preserve peace. His vision isn't enforced by mind control, but by fear, surveillance, and superior firepower. The result is the same philosophical endpoint as Landru: order achieved at the cost of ethical integrity. What makes this a rewrite rather than a repetition is Kirk's role in the Kelvin timeline. In Return of the Archons, Kirk is the confident, almost mythic captain who dismantles a false god with logic and moral certainty. Kelvin Kirk, by contrast, is reckless, emotionally driven, and deeply flawed. He doesn't topple authoritarian systems because he has all the answers. He does it because he instinctively resists being told who he's supposed to be. His rebellion against control is personal before it is philosophical. Spock, too, becomes part of this modernized take on Landru's dilemma. In TOS, Spock supports Kirk's logic-heavy approach to dismantling Landru. In the Kelvin films, Spock embodies the internal conflict between order and emotion. His struggle mirrors the citizens of Beta-3, who sacrificed emotion for stability. Kelvin Spock learns, painfully, that suppressing emotion doesn't prevent suffering. It only delays and distorts it. This internalization of the Return of the Archons theme gives it a more intimate, character-focused,